Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the Triple Dub podcast. We are on to our second season and ready to get you all caught up on the Wizards, what's going on in the NBA, and of course, our Women in Sports Spotlight. I'm Karita Parks, one of your hosts. I am a credential reporter for the Washington Wizards with sportsjourney.com and also Double Take Sports. And I'll let the rest of my ladies introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, I'm Becca. I am also a credentialed media reporter. Been doing it with the girls for 4 or 5 years, seems like 20 though. I am the director of Wizards Extra, and I am 1/4 member of the Triple Dub. So,
hey everybody, I am Candy Waller, also known as Seawall of Seawall Sports and Entertainment. I am another credential Wizards reporter, and like Becca said, I feel like we've all known each other for way longer than what we had because we have covered I don't know how many coaches and players on the Wizards at this point.
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Bree, and I work for Radio 1 DC. I'm an online editor, and I, as well, have the pleasure of being a credentialed reporter for the Washington Wizards and get to work with these ladies for what seems like for forever. And so we are excited for our second season, episode 2 of season 2.
a good forever. And if you've tuned into our show before, you know that we have to kick it off with our song of the week, which we are adding to our season 2 playlist on Spotify. So if you're not tuned into that, make sure you look that up. The Triple W Pod. We're on Spotify, and it's our season 2 playlist. So I'll go ahead and kick off my song. This time I'm gonna bring it current. Last time I did a throwback. So I have to add Drake and Future, Way Too Sexy.
Yes, yeah.
classic.
The music video is hilarious. So.
Yes.
Kawhi makes a great appearance in that. I was confused. I wasn't sure it was him just because it was so weird, but yeah. I'm glad that worked out.
Well, what is your song, Becca?
So I'm going nostalgic this time, and for that reason, my mom always used to listen to Madonna in the car wherever she took us. Like she would take us to tennis practice or, just like wherever. I know I played tennis for like 5 minutes. It was crazy. I was not as good as Serena Williams. Never will be. Anyways, I want to choose Ray of Light because it's just like a happy like song, like just makes you like feel good. So I'm going to go with that. Ray of Light by Madonna.
I like that music video too. Yeah, that's a good one. Well, my song is a throwback, and it is number 1 spot by Ludacris because the Wizards are in that number 1 spot in the East. So that's my song.
Okay, so my song this week is by Silk Sonic. And I've been really listening to Skate a lot this past few weeks. So Silk Sonic, Skate for me, ladies.
That is a vibe. Silk Sonic is definitely a vibe. I love our playlist because we always come with so many different types of songs every single week. So with that, I'm going to kick it over to my girl, Becca, and she's going to get us right into that Wizards talk because like Bree said, they in that number 1 spot.
I am shocked. I never thought I would see that during my lifetime. I hope I continue to see that during my lifetime. Like, the next couple of weeks, I hope they can hang on to that. But yes, the Wizards are the number 1 in the Eastern Conference, and they are hanging with the Bullets. Just to let you all know, the Wizards are tied the franchise second best season start ever, 10-3 in the 1968-69 season. And we haven't had a start this good since the 1974-1975 season. The Bullets won 60 games, and they started off 11-2. So this team, and they went to the NBA Finals, by the way. So I'm not saying this team will get there, but they look like they could get there at this point. I just want to know, like, ladies, you've been watching this team for a long time. What is working this time, this year, this season that is clicking so well? Like, what in your mind, what is the one thing, if you had to pick one thing? I know there's several things, but I just want to know your one thing. And I'm going to start off with Candy. What are you thinking? What's going on?
I think they have a coach that is able to communicate effectively with this group. I think we are seeing why the Denver Nuggets were doing all they could to keep Wes Unseld Jr. in Denver. You all know I get on my soapbox about coaches and coaching and how it just makes a difference, and how you can absolutely be a very nice person and that works, but only but so far. But we are seeing this team respond to Coach Unseld Jr., and we're also seeing Coach make adjustments. Like, he's getting these lineup rotations pretty much spot on in response to what the opposing team is doing. I'm really, really, really enjoying Coach Unseld Jr. so far.
Coaching is everything. And you're right about that. I mean, Scott Brooks was the nicest person we've ever met in Wizards, in the locker room. He's a great guy. But if anybody, no shade. If anybody nailed the lineups, like Candy said, it is Wes Unseld Jr. Bree, what are you thinking? What is your one thing? What if you had to pick?
So for me, it's not just one thing. It's actually three things. It's a triple D. And that last game that we just watched, it was Denny. It was Danny, meaning Daniel Gafford, and Dinwiddie. Like, they came through at the end of that game for sure. And going along with the D theme, defense. Like, it was mainly their defense that really came through with those plays at the end. I mean, they had sticky hands, and it definitely turned the game around. And I think also all of them have something to prove. I think that, especially in the post game, I know Kuz has said it a lot, and a lot of the players have said it a lot, that, they feel, going off of what Candy was saying, that Coach Unseld is really trusting them, and they're able to prove their worth, and they're happy to have the trust from their coach. And so I think that those three players stood out not only in last game, but in these past few games. And so, yeah, that's what I think is happening.
Awesome. Karita, what is going on? What's your opinion of this?
Well, I will go the other route, because I was going to say defense too, and that is true. But also, I'm going to say they have a resilient and more competitive mindset. We hear after every game that they scrap out, because the Wizards have found a way to win differently in all the games that they are winning. You know how many times last season, the last 2 minutes of the game, we all be on the edge of our seats, like, oh, like, are they going to blow this? And they typically blew it. Yep. This season, we are not seeing that. They are resilient. They are playing to the very end of the game. And you can tell they got a swag, like, we can still pull this out. You know what I mean? And I love that. And Coach Unseld Jr., he has said in his press conferences time and time again, this team is resilient. These are character wins. So they're building their character, and they're showing resilience. And that, to me, that is why we are seeing this team at number one. And that resilience and those character wins, you best believe if they make it to the playoffs, that is going to be why, but also that's going to help them in the postseason.
Karita, I definitely want to piggyback on your comment about, we're seeing them finish games. Mm-hmm. We were calling it in season 1 of the Triple W pod, we were calling it the fourth quarter meltdown. Yes. We were like, they're going to lose. We already knew. It's like they're going to just give up or just lose it. And they're holding it together until, like you said, the very end of the game, like 2 minutes left in the game, and there is still an opportunity for them to win, and they're taking it.
And teams are going to realize that they can't just like let go of the brakes either on their end. They're going to have to continue to play till the end because they don't know. The Wizards might just come back. They're going to steal your whole win. You thought you were getting on the plane with the win, but nope.
The Wizards are sneaky. They're sneaky on the defensive end, and I think a lot of teams don't anticipate that, and that's what's working so far. Speaking of Wes Unseld Jr., I have to take a moment to give him all the props. I know Candy gave him the props already, but we're going to give him more props because we cannot get enough of Wes Unseld Jr. and his coaching style. I believe the game yesterday was a testament to his coaching, truly, because like Karita said, those games are not games that we're used to seeing the Wizards winning. If they do come back from a 19-point deficit, they will blow it in the fourth quarter. Like she said, fourth quarter meltdown. But we saw a third quarter turn up, and we're pleasantly surprised by the Wizards' behavior. And let's listen to this clip from Wes Unseld Jr. to kind of see what his mindset was during the third quarter turn up. So let's take a look here.
Dial in and get our focus back. Second quarter was not who we want to be. Of course, we missed shots and got some good looks. It didn't go, but they had the momentum, and to allow a team 33 points in the second quarter, that's a huge bonus. As far as playing into the third. So the fact that we could respond the way we did, I think we held them 42 points in the second half. We did a better job with Ingram late, but it was good to see that we could, get back to who we are and how we have to play. And we didn't go the other way. We didn't just go into town and say, it's next night. There was no panic. I think, there's a lot of game to play at that point. We already realized that we hadn't played our best basketball. So let's flush that quarter. Let's get back to who we are. And, to their credit, they did. They kept playing. We said, just hit singles. No home run plays. We'll walk these guys down if we continue to do what we're supposed to do, defend, rebound, and get out and execute them.
I have not seen a coach more calm, cool, and collected than Wes Unseld Jr. for his rookie season as being a head coach. I mean, ladies, this is exactly who the Wizards needed. Seriously, just amazed, honestly.
Absolutely. I agree. He's very even-keeled and the players actually said that a lot in yesterday's press conferences about his demeanor when he went into the locker room. But I actually asked him and I asked Kyle Kuzma about his relationship, how he's building his relationship with the players. And Coach said initially that, the relationship building has been a huge part of it, but also open communication. He was if there's a problem or if you see something, tell me and we can work it out. We can figure it out. And then he just talked about how building that relationship, having that open communication, and now you're seeing the validation on the court with the wins. And then I thought Kyle answered the question really well too, something I did not think about, but he said in the NBA, as you all know, they work closely with their assistant coaches. Mm-hmm. So he was that we rarely really work with the head coach. So he was saying Coach Unseld Jr.'s background as an assistant coach, he said he understands that player-coach relationship. And that, that communication, he's easy to talk to. And even though he's a head coach, they interact with him. So you could just see him building that relationship with the players. And I think it was you, Candy, earlier that said they trust him. And that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was one of the things too that Bree was bringing up about earlier about Denny.
Yes.
And I think Denny Avdia was sharing a lot about that trust. And that's how they're building their relationship, them trusting each other, them trusting their assistant coaches and Coach Unseld Jr. as the head coach. And you're seeing it, right? I want to go back to one of the games. I think it was the Cleveland game, right? One of those games where typically in the past, we would have seen the Wizards lose that game because while Cleveland didn't have their best players, they were still strong, and the Wizards were not. And they played to the very end of that game,
Mm-hmm.
literally still believing and trusting each other. Remember, Brad was not having a good night. And we
Not at
definitely
all.
want to, shout out Brad and send our condolences to him and his family for the loss of his grandmother. But he wasn't having a good night. And the team knew that. He knew that. I mean, and they were just adjusting. And everybody they were all on Brad, of course. The Cavs, last second of the game, you're gonna put the ball in the hands of your best player. He had the assist to Kuz, and Kuz was dropping them. And I'm like, that level of confidence and steadiness that we're seeing with this team from the Denny, right, and from Kuz and his role on other teams, even Trez, I really think that stems from that effective coaching from Coach Unseld Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And I think overall he's a well-rounded coach. And so he, like what Karita was saying, that he's had the experience of being an assistant coach. I know with myself being in the production industry, usually the best people who are directors or producers are the ones that understand the roles that work with them, that are underneath them. So if you understand what the editor needs, you're going to be able to provide that better assistant when you're shooting or when you're filming, to give them what they need. And I believe that, Wes Unseld is the same way. He understands that, and his connection to the cities too. He's playing for a city that he's basically known since he was really young. And so I think all of that plays into it. And I think his calm voice too definitely is different. It's like he says, he doesn't yell. He's not going to yell at anybody, but some people do need those different type of approaches to really get the message through to them.
Completely agree. And you know what? To add on to that, Bree, I think that he has this job with the Wizards organization. I think to him it's personal, and him there's more at stake for, continuing his dad's legacy. I mean, his dad is essentially the face of the franchise. I mean, we could argue, it's John Wall or whatever, but his dad has a championship with this team. And I think it's very important to him that he does right by his dad and his family. And, yeah, I mean, it's been incredible to watch. It's only been, a few games in, but honestly, I think we can only go up from here. You guys beat me to the punch with the Denny clip I was going to show. So let's go ahead and show that anyways. Let's see what Denny had to say about trust, because that's very important.
It makes me feel like I get trusted. And for a basketball player to get trusted, it's the best feeling in the world. When people trust you and you make a stop and everybody throwing the X, it feels good. I mean, I'm just hoping to continue with it, Now, I had a good game today. Sorry, 2 good games. And I'm just trying to keep it going, be there for my teammates, be there for the team. And we can do great things together, even like on low days or even in high days. We got to have the same energy.
Trust is so important. The fact that Coach Wes Unseld trusts Denny to go guard Giannis like it's nothing, to Denny, that means a lot. And I'm sure to the other guys, it means a lot that they're able to fulfill these bigger roles, especially with Trez and Kuz and KCP. They didn't have the biggest roles on the Lakers. Now they're here and they're essentially, the guys of the team. So I'm just like amazed at how quickly that this team has formed the bonds, and it can only get stronger. That being said,
I just want to say something really quick though. Can we just acknowledge that they are still winning when Bradley Beal is not in the lineup? I mean, when you don't have your star player and you can still win games, like that's a squad.
They're 3-0 without Bradley Beal. So
that's, I mean, you have to talk about it. You have to talk about it, and not in the way that I'm already seeing some fans getting a little carried away now. Oh, we can trade Brad. They don't need Brad. Absolutely need Brad.
Yes.
Need Brad. Okay. And got a shout out again, Denny, in his on court post game interview after the win against the Pelicans. He closed out his interview saying out loud, we want to shout Brad out. We miss Brad, love Brad, need him back. He made that clear because you already hear the chatter. It's just everybody calm down because this is exactly what good teams, I almost said winning teams because I'm not going to talk about them just yet. But this is what you see good teams do. They're supposed to still be able to perform without their star. That means they're going to be even better when the star is on the court.
And Brad is that type of guy who he's just like, I'm happy that they're winning right now. He's not, he's not sour or nothing. He's like, this is good. Like, I'm excited.
He could go mourn his grandmother in peace.
Right.
While this team is still doing what they need to do.
Right.
Very awesome. This team has depth that we've never seen, but this team is just unfamiliar to us as Wizards reporters, as fans watching all of our lives. It's just, I am just so shocked. I was talking with my dad and I'm like, you got to see a championship. I want to see a championship too before I leave this earth. You know what I'm saying? Just one. But this team is looking like, I'm not saying they're going to win a championship, but I'm hoping that, they'll at least they'll make a deep playoff run. So it's just incredible to see. With that, I think we should talk about anything that you ladies see that they could improve on. To me, I would just quickly point out that yesterday, the Wizards are able to turn it on defensively, offensively, whenever they feel like it seems. So if they could just get that started earlier so they don't have a setback and have to, dig themselves out of a hole, I feel like that's really the only thing that I'm seeing that could use, super improvement. What are your thoughts, ladies? Candy, do you have anything you're looking for?
I mean, I just want to see them stay consistent. Mm-hmm. I make jokes all the time. Like, I don't really start paying attention until December, right? But they're making you pay attention. It's like, wait a minute. This is a different vibe with everybody. And let me just again share, with the fans, even in the arena, it's like you can tell the fan base is just starving for good games and wins, and they're excited and they're hyped. And we all look around at each other like, do y'all see all this going on right here?
I had a Monday night.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Myself. Now I had to get on Becca one time when she was sitting there dancing in her seat. I'm like, Becca, just chill out. But then I caught myself getting a little loud yesterday. Like, oh wait, I'm glad I got my mask on.
Yeah. They are loving it, but the fans deserve this. So yes, the fans deserve it. It's like, enjoy it.
To be fair, when I started dancing, I will say that Trez started dancing first. And, when you see a guy like him dance and have fun, you want to have fun too. So I was like, whoop, whoop. And then he gave me that look like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, sorry. I'm fine. I'm not freaking out, or I'm not freaking out. It's fine. I'm not excited. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's hard not to be excited. This team's awesome.
Yeah, I had to sit there for a moment, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm laughing or if I'm crying because my eyes started watering. I'm like, am I happy? Like, what's going on?
It is hard. It is hard being media.
Yes.
Sitting in a platform with the crowd, because you kind of get swept up in that.
Right.
I know our first season, we had we didn't understand the rules, but it's like now as you do it more, it's like you have to be like keep your celebration on the inside.
Well, you know what I will say?
Just watch everybody get really excited.
Yeah.
Listen, 2 years ago, I think before the pandemic started, the few months before we had to cut the season off, I was so dead inside. Like, I didn't even cheer at all anyways. And Bree can attest to that because she sat next to me at every single game for like the last like bazillion years. Like, I'm just like, I was dead inside. I was like, I can't believe I'm sitting here watching this. Like, this is so like scary to watch, but it's been hard. Like, they've been playing so well, and we have to acknowledge that. So maybe at the games I'm stone cold, but when I'm watching on the TV, I'm like dancing whenever Trez is dancing. Anyways, I think we've covered the Wizards pretty well. I have to pass it off to Candy. What is going on in the NBA? What is happening?
So we got to keep going on the Wizards a little bit. We do.
Okay.
And here's why, everybody. So when was the last time you saw the Wizards made the power ranking? You don't even have
Never.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I haven't seen it in a while.
So what we have here on the screen are this week's power rankings. This is at the beginning of the week, so we know that the records have shifted a bit. But think this is really key in just sharing that at the top of this week, the Wizards were, top 4 in the power rankings, up there with the Steph Curry led Warriors. You see the Nets are up there. Both, and I'm looking at it from the perspective of, Steph, I think, was the Western Conference Player of the week this week, and Kevin Durant was the Eastern Conference Player of the week. So when your team is in the mix of the top 5, with teams that are led by those elite types of players, you got to start paying attention before December. So that was big. Ladies, any reactions to this week's power rank standings?
I'm just happy to see the Wizards in the top 5. I mean, because that is Western Conference and Eastern Conference. So to be in the top 5 in all of the NBA, we did not expect this. Nobody expected this, but it is a pleasant surprise, and I'm just glad that they're balling. And I also just want to say shout out to Montrez, because he was in the running for Eastern Conference Player of the Week, but he did get beat out by Kevin Durant, and he's been in the running before. So we need y'all to show some respect to Trez. Put some respect on his name, okay? But I digress.
I liked what Denny said in the post game. He was like, Montrez is a different animal. And he was like,
he puts the knife through his teeth or something.
He has a knife between his teeth. He's like, that grit and that hunger is different.
He said rarely do you see a player every night who comes out to kill.
Right, yeah.
It's definitely
he will kill you. I mean, if you've learned anything these past 13 games, he will kill you. He kills me with his energy. I mean, seriously, we cannot get enough of him. Honestly, I think he's become a fan favorite very quick. And I think, I saw him yesterday after the game, taking off, giving the fans everything he had on him. He was given his headband, his sleeves and his shoes, whatever, signing everything, taking selfies with people love him. And I cannot blame them. I am amazed that this guy comes out of nowhere and just becomes like the representative of the Wizards. Like they're always chanting the MVP chants when he's at the free throw line. It is just crazy. Like, he has the star power. Like, I have not seen Wizards fans like that crazed about someone that's not like the team's built around, like he gets like John Wall love. He gets Bradley Beal love, and he's been here for like a week. So gotta love it.
This is my fault because I made this about Montrez, but we're supposed to talk about the power rankings.
I mean, yeah, we were supposed to talk about the power rankings, but I
was just bringing it back to say, I think you have to respect the Wizards at this point. They're showing that they are a contender. So I think that they have put a mark on them, obviously, because they're winning and they're in the power rankings. But I think they'll rise to the occasion.
And again, more people. Oh, sorry, Ken.
No.
More people are, because of this list and because of their start, more people are looking at the games. So who knows? We might even get some more national games. There might be some other changes that will happen, because I don't think they're going to slow down. So, I mean, I don't think any of us think they're going to slow down. So this won't be the last time. Hopefully they're on this list.
I actually have been tracking because, we always, Steph Curry, the Warriors, Kevin Durant, the Nets, the Suns, went to the finals last year. They still got Chris Paul. I've actually been keeping my eyes on the Bulls. Because y'all saw the Bulls.
They are very intriguing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, there's 2 teams in the East hey, we coming, and both teams look very different too.
And the
Yeah.
Bulls might be sneakier though, because
Yep.
the Wizards are getting a lot of attention, and
Yep.
I'm not hearing as much about the Bulls, even though they're right there in the power rankings. So that they might be like the sneaky team.
And they're interesting because like they have Ball and they have DeRozan on the team, and those are two people who have been, you know, in the West Coast and now coming over to the East, so they're bringing kind of a different flavor. But yeah, I think the Bulls are definitely interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish that, honestly, with the power rankings, I kind of wish that they didn't put us up so high because, like you said, you know, the Bulls are the ones who's getting away with the sneaky stuff, but everybody's like, the Wizards, what's going on over there? They're all going to turn on their TV and be like, oh my gosh, like, you know, they're the ones to watch. The Bulls are insane. Honestly, like from what I've seen from them, they're going to definitely be the team that's going to give the Wizards some problems. As far as the power rankings, just to sum it up, when I first saw it, I was like a proud mom, like, yep, that's my team. Like, you know, and also it's like, you know, I just was prideful, you know, because all these like national media is like talking about the Wizards, and I'm like, I knew that they were good before you even thought about them this season. So we saw them first. So just remember that. ESPN, just remember that we saw them first.
With the podcast.
Exactly. Now, this is the next topic that we're going to do in what's going on in the NBA before I turn it over to Bree for the women in sports highlight. Listen, our triple W text, y'all gonna learn something about us real quick. This is a moment of transparency. The Triple W podcast to all of you. Our conversations typically go a little crazy on a Friday night. And for some reason, it goes a little crazy about John Wall. So your girl, I will admit it, y'all. I don't know where I have been. I don't know what my brain is. I don't know where I was. But I did not know that John Wall was not playing at all for the Houston Rockets. I did not know that he was not in the lineup. I knew that they were talking about trading him, but I was like, why is he not playing? What's happening? So, ladies, do you think is this looking like that John is going to sit out for the season? Or do you think the Houston Rockets are going to be able to trade him? What's going on?
It's so tricky right now because, of course, we've seen John preparing to come back. We saw his comeback last season. He looks great. But unfortunately, with his contract right now, it is definitely holding him back from other teams because there's lots of teams that want him and that he could fit in, but not willing to, you know, sign that check. So it would be interesting. I mean, I hope that he's not going to have to waste his talent again sitting. You know, I want to see him play. Like, I want him to play again. I know that that's, you know, he's a passionate player, and so I know he wants to be on the floor. I think that people saying like he's choosing to just collect a check, like, I don't think that's, no, like, he wants to be out there. So I did hear some things that they're like, he's probably never gonna play again, but I'm like, nah.
I don't think so. I don't think
something's gonna work out. I don't know.
He'll never play again. I mean,
yeah, right.
Go ahead, Becca.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, right. And to Bree's point, I think the Rockets have internally discussed with John Wall that he's more of a mentor for their young core, and I think they're focused on building their young core, and they want to give them as much time on the floor, you know, minutes and experience. I think they're tanking, but that's just me, for a good lottery pick. And you know what? This won't be the last of John Wall. He's definitely someone who will be back on the floor, whether he's a star or he's coming off the bench somewhere. But right now, his contract is just too crazy for any team to pick up. I think, yeah, I was hoping he would honestly get traded to Philadelphia. I thought Ben Simmons for John Wall and maybe someone else in exchange would have worked out. But, you know, I don't. It's hard to say, but we're rooting for him regardless.
Yeah, definitely rooting for him. I do know, I also read that the Rockets and John like mutually agreed that he would sit out until they find a trade partner. And they still sound like, as an organization, they have a ton of respect for him, but they both kind of want to go their separate ways, and they're handling it I will say they're handling it well. I mean, this is the decision that they both came up with. You don't want John getting hurt and then you can't trade him, and he doesn't want to get hurt where he can't be traded. So I think it's best for both parties right now, and hopefully someone will trade for him. But like everyone said, his contract makes it difficult. I mean, quite frankly, I don't even know how Tommy Shepard swung it, but he did. So yeah, hopefully we see John on the court again. But that Supermax it was great when you were here, but like once you get traded and like you're looking for suitors, it's not as appealing.
Yeah, I was even thinking, what if he went like abroad for a year? What do you guys think of that? Like if he played,
I don't think John Wall wants to go abroad.
I think he's too good for that.
No, not yeah. I agree.
You have to do that though, to be honest.
For a year to come back, in a year and come back, but
I don't think he would risk getting injured. But you know, if it honestly, I saw that John Wall sold his Potomac house close to DC, and that literally ripped my heart out after a year of being away. That honestly made me so upset. But so he's definitely not coming back to DC. Yeah.
This will not be like a Panthers Cam Newton situation where we see John back. No.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because when he was with the Wizards, in his locker room he had that photo of the championship trophy, and I know like after every game and before every game he was looking at that, and that was his goal. And so I know that that's still his goal, and I think we all hope that he does come back and he finds a team that meshes with him and that he can achieve that goal. It would be nice if he did, especially right now when the Wizards playing so great, and then if Wall was able to be on, but that's only in the movies, kids.
Just let me dream, okay? It's fine.
All right, so Bree, you are up next with our Women in Sports Spotlight.
Yes, so our Women in Sports Spotlight for this week is Malika Andrews. I know a lot of people have been hearing her name, especially lately, but I honestly didn't realize how quick her rise has been. She, of course, just recently got her new show on ESPN, NBA Today, which is a great show. Everybody should tune in and watch. And she got the show basically replacing The Jump with Rachel Nichols. So Malika Andrews, she is 26 years old, and she's from Oakland, California, and she graduated from the University of Portland. I was surprised at how young she was. Wow. And she's only been with ESPN since 2018. So she's been there for 3 years. But before that, she worked for the Chicago Tribune and the New York Times. And she's actually one of the youngest reporters to cover the conference finals. She got her first big debut with ESPN during the NBA bubble, and she was a sideline reporter for those games. And she recently she did an interview with NBC Sports Bay Area, because of course she's from Oakland, and she talks about her rise over the years. And she was talking about how when in college, she was really focused on not only her schoolwork, but also doing things on the weekends and at nights to get her name out there. And she was making sure to make connections, doing internships, writing as much as she can, just getting her experience up while she was in college. And that set her up to where she is now. So here's a little clip.
And so I was on a mission to get that work. But I think my secret sauce, if you will, was at the same time I think you have to be, and I told Kendra this, while you have to be working on your craft on your right hand, in your left hand, you have making sure you're networking with people. So you can't just have one or the other. You can't just know everybody, but not have the substance. You can't just have the substance, but not know anyone, because the dirty secret of this industry is that people gravitate towards who they know. And so I wanted to make sure that I was getting to know folks around this industry so that when it came time for me to be looking for a job, it was, oh, I recognize this name on this resume. But that also involved, my partying days in college were freshman year, because after that, there was just a steep decline in my jungle juice days. So that was kind of the trick.
So yeah, so she has, learned the tricks in being able to collaborate and understanding the networking side of this business, which I think all of us can definitely relate to that, and understanding collaboration and understanding that it's a lot to juggle, especially within the entertainment industry and within sports, being a woman, and all of that, and being a woman of color as well. So to be able to balance all of that, and again, to rise to get her own show on ESPN. We just want to say congratulations to Malika. We are excited to see your journey continue. And I know you guys, anything you want to say about her?
I do love NBA Today. I was watching that the other day, and I was thinking to myself, yeah, like she's definitely really rise through the ranks, and I love to see it. That's all I have to say.
Yep, amazing job, amazing choice for the women in sports. And she's just doing great things that we can all admire. I mean, work ethic, you got to be on that grind. You got to have that work ethic and just that no nonsense attitude to perfecting your craft. And she's continuously learning, and she remains teachable, and she's doing all the right things and staying consistent. So kudos for sure to Malika.
Love to see it. She's very intriguing. She's compelling. She's witty. She's smart. All the good qualities that you love to see. She really is inspiring to watch. So I'm super excited to see her keep climbing that mountain for sure.
Well, with that, we have come to the end of our show. We had a jam-packed episode today. I mean, the Wizards are actually giving us a lot more to talk about this season. So, hey, we are going to keep on this winning wave. And once again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at @WWPod. Also, you can follow us individually. Our names are in the boxes. Check out our Spotify playlist. Don't forget to do that. And until next time, enjoy the Wizards games. And we'll also be doing another Twitter space.
Thanks to everybody that joined us last week. So definitely come back, tell a friend.
Oh, I want to, before we go, I want to shout out Sam. He's one of our listeners. I believe we ran into him at the Wizards game. Me, Karita, and Candy. Great guy. He's really super awesome. So shout out to Sam. Thank you for listening. For sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone for listening. Like, the support's been crazy. We appreciate it. And with that, we will see you next time.